really became more interested and enjoyed playing.
What spiked your interest and love for music?
I had an uncle that played the piano, and then some long-playing records began to appear. And I don't know, I think my brother was a member of a record club, and he would get records like a Brahms symphony or Debussy work, and I was listening to those at a fairly early age and just was captivated by the music. That's what I choose to listen to most of the time.
Is there a favorite artist that you have?
I would say Bach, because it seems like everything really stems from his work. It all depends on what I'm listening to. There's a French composer that I mentioned, Debussy, was the one who really gave me the impetus to actually go into music in the first place. I mean, seriously, as a career.
How many instruments do you play, and do you have a favorite
I only
one?
claim to play the piano. I've played, at one time I played the tuba and I played the flute. I played the organ. The tuba it was hard to play, and I didn't like marching with it, so that's why I learned to play the flute, so it was a lot easier to carry.
And most people think with music you wouldn't have to have strength, but carrying such a big instrument.
But the piano really is the only instrument that I claim to play with any amount of skill.
And how long have you played the piano for?
Close to 60 years.
Do you enjoy performing in front of a crowd, and if so, why or why not?
Yes and no. Mostly no. I am by nature somewhat of an introvert. And, I've had performances where I enjoy playing before a large crowd. I don't know, most people nowadays wouldn't know the name Doc Severson, but I had a chance to perform before 1,800 people over in Pittsburgh this past March, and that was a very enjoyable experience. But playing solo piano, like I'm going to be doing, is another experience altogether. It takes a lot out of me.
How many music recitals have you performed in?
Quite a few. I've done a lot of accompanying where I'm performing with other musicians, violinists, singers. I've played in pit orchestras. I've played on cruise ships. I've played in jazz. I've played in lots of different musical venues, concert houses, sleazy bars.
What's your most memorable moment playing?
Well, the fellow who I was playing with was the founder of the Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center, and that was a real honor to play with him. He was a Woodrow Wilson Scholar up at Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri, and he came for a series of concerts that I helped organize, and I got to participate in them as well.
Do you teach a number of music classes? If so, to what array do you teach?
Well, of course, I've taught music appreciation here for the whole time I've been here. It is mostly a survey of music history. In the past, I have taught classes. There was a class that I taught at another school called Jazz, Pop, and Rock, which was all about the popular music of the 20th century. Of course, students always liked that.
Have you ever taught in music lessons for people?
Oh yeah, and I still do. I've got a couple of students that I teach, give them jazz lessons, sort of the insecurity of that. And I'm kind of attracted to both. Not at the same time, but...
Do you ever compose your own music?
I have. I ideally, like to say, I'd like to do more of that, and I would, but it's a very
time-consuming.
It's a hard process for me. It just doesn't pour out of me like it does. Improvisation can pour out of me.